Welcome back to the channel where we dive into the darkest corners of America's most haunted places. I'm your host, and tonight we're in Portland, Oregon, a city of roses, rain, and restless spirits. From the Shanghai Tunnels to the White Eagle Saloon, something's been following me, and it's not letting go. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button, give us a like, drop a comment with your own creepy stories, and share this video with anyone who loves a good scare. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one. I never believed in ghosts. Growing up in Portland, I'd heard the stories, whispers of the Shanghai Tunnels, where men and women were snatched in the 1800s, dragged underground, and sold to ships as slaves. They said the tunnels were haunted, that the air down there carried voices of the trapped. I laughed it off. Urban legends, right? Just something to scare tourists. But last October, I stopped laughing. Never believed in ghosts. Growing up in Portland, I'd heard the stories, whispers of the Shanghai Tunnels, where men and women were snatched in the 1800s, dragged underground, and sold to ships as slaves. They said the tunnels were haunted, that the air down there carried voices of the trapped. I laughed it off. Urban legends, right? Just something to scare tourists. But last October, I stopped laughing. It was a dare. My buddy Jake, always chasing thrills, bet me $50 to spend an hour in the tunnels alone. No flashlight, no phone, just me and the dark. I'm not one to back down, so I agreed. We found an old access point in Old Town, a forgotten grate behind a dumpster. Jake pried it open, the metal screaming like it hadn't been touched in decades. The air that hit me was cold, damp, and smelled like wet earth and something sour like spoiled wine. 1 hour, Jake said, grinning. Don't chicken out. I climbed down the ladder, my boots echoing on the rungs. The darkness swallowed me whole. At the bottom, the tunnel stretched out, narrow and uneven, the walls slick with moss. My eyes adjusted just enough to see shapes. Broken crates, rusted chains bolted to the stone. The stories flooded my head. People drugged in saloons, waking up in these tunnels, chained, screaming for help that never came. I shook it off and started walking, counting my steps to keep track of time. About 10 minutes in, I heard it. A whisper, not words, just a soft, breathy sound, like someone exhaling too close to my ear. I froze. Jake, I called, half expecting him to jump out and laugh. No answer, just the drip of water somewhere deep in the tunnel. I kept going, telling myself it was nothing, just my brain playing tricks. But the whispers didn't stop. They grew, layering over each other, a chorus of murmurs too faint to understand, but too real to ignore. My skin prickled. I wasn't alone. I turned a corner and the air changed, thicker, heavier, like stepping into a freezer. My breath caught and I saw it. A shape in the dark. Not a person, not exactly, just a shadow that moved wrong. Too fluid, too tall. It flickered at the edge of my vision, and when I turned my head, it was gone. But the whispers got louder, sharper, like they were arguing. I stumbled back, my heart hammering. Something cold brushed my arm, like fingers grazing my skin. I yelped and ran, not caring where, just away. The tunnel twisted and I tripped over something. Chains, tangled and heavy, clattering against the stone. I hit the ground hard, and for a second, I swear I felt hands on my shoulders pressing me down. The whispers were everywhere now, circling me, saying one word over and over. Stay! I scrambled up, my hands shaking, and ran until I saw the faint glow of the ladder. I climbed faster than I've ever moved, the whispers chasing me, fading only when I hit the surface. Jake was waiting, his grin gone when he saw my face. What happened? He asked. I couldn't answer. I just kept looking back at the grate, expecting something to crawl out. I haven't gone near Old Town since, but sometimes at night I hear it, a faint whisper, like it followed me home. A month later, I thought I'd put it behind me. Then I got dragged to Pittock Mansion for a friend's Halloween party. You know the place, the old home of Portland's richest family, the Pittocks. People say it's haunted by Henry and Georgiana, the couple who built it. I didn't want to go, but my friends insisted. It's just a party, they said. Lighten up. The mansion was packed. Costumes, music, people laughing. laughing, but I couldn't shake the feeling something was watching me. The air felt wrong, like in the tunnels. I wandered upstairs to get away from the crowd, into a quiet hallway lined with old portraits. The eyes in those paintings, they followed you. I stopped at a mirror, and for a split second, I saw her, Georgiana Pittock, standing behind me, her face pale, her eyes empty. I spun around. Nothing, just an empty hallway. Then the lights flickered. The music downstairs stopped, and a low moan filled the house. Not mechanical, not human, but something else. People laughed, thinking it was a prank, but I knew better. I felt that same cold from the tunnels creeping up my spine. A door at the end of the hall creaked open on its own, revealing a staircase leading up to the attic. I don't know why I walked toward it. I just did. The attic was freezing, the air thick with dust. Old furniture was draped in sheets, and a single window let in a sliver of moonlight. I saw her again, Georgiana, standing by the window, her back to me. She didn't move, but her voice filled the room, soft and sad. "You shouldn't be here," she said. I backed away, my heart in my throat, and tripped over something, a child's rocking horse, moving on its own, creaking back and forth. I ran down the stairs, through the party, out of the mansion. I didn't stop until I was in my car, my hands shaking so bad I could barely hold the wheel. Portland's got its charm, coffee shops, roses, all that, but there's a darkness here, under the streets, in the old houses. I've seen it, I've felt it, and once you do, you don't sleep the same. So, next time you're in Old Town or passing Pittock Mansion, listen close. You might hear the whispers, and if you do, I tried to forget the tunnels, to chalk it up to nerves and shadows. Portland's weird, sure, but ghosts? I wasn't ready to buy that. Still, I avoided Old Town after that night. The whispers lingered in my head, creeping into my dreams, faint, desperate voices calling my name. I'd wake up sweating, checking the corners of my room for that flickering shadow. Work got tough. I couldn't focus. Friends noticed I was jumpy, always looking over my shoulder. I told myself it was over, that I'd left whatever it was down in the dark. But Portland doesn't let go that easy. A few weeks later, I got roped into another dumb idea. My friend Sarah, obsessed with spooky stuff, heard about my tunnel story and wouldn't shut up about it. She'd been digging into Portland's history, reading about the Shanghai Tunnels, the Pittock Mansion, and other places where the past didn't stay quiet. "There's this old bar," she said one night, her eyes lit up over a beer. "The White Eagle Saloon. They say it's connected to the tunnels. People hear things, cries, footsteps, even music that shouldn't be there. Let's check it out." I wanted to say no. My gut screamed it. But Sarah had a way of pulling you in, and the others, Jake included, were all for it. So there I was, standing outside the White Eagle on a foggy November night, the neon sign buzzing faintly above the door. The bar was old, all creaky wood and stained glass, the kind of place that felt like it remembered every bad thing that ever happened inside. We grabbed a booth, ordered drinks, and Sarah started rattling off stories. Barmaids who vanished in the 1800s, sailors who got shanghaied through a trapdoor in the basement. I tried to laugh it off, but my hands were clammy, my eyes darting to the dark corners. Around midnight, the vibe shifted. The bar wasn't packed, but the air got heavy like a storm was coming. The jukebox cut out mid-song, and for a second, it was dead quiet. Then I heard it. Music, but not from the speakers. It was faint, like an old piano playing somewhere far off, the notes wrong, warped. Nobody else seemed to notice. Sarah was still talking. Jake was scrolling his phone, but I couldn't move. The music grew louder, and with it came the whispers again, the same ones from the tunnels, weaving through the melody like a warning. I gripped my glass so hard I thought it'd break. I stood up, muttering something about the bathroom, and headed toward the back. The hallway was narrow, lined with old photos of stern-faced men and women who looked like they'd seen too much. The music followed me, clearer now, coming from below. There was a door at the end of the hall, half hidden behind a stack of crates, with a faded sign that read "Basement Keep Out." My hand was on the knob before I could stop myself. It was cold, like it had been sitting in ice. I pushed it open, and a gust of that same sour, damp air from the tunnels hit me. The stairs creaked as I went down, each step louder than the last. The basement was a maze of brick walls and low ceilings, lit by a single flickering bulb. The piano music stopped, replaced by a low hum, like someone breathing too close. I saw it then, a trapdoor in the floor, padlocked but rattling like something was pushing up from below. The whispers exploded, a frantic chorus saying my name over and over. I backed away, my foot catching on a loose brick, and that's when I saw her. She was standing in the corner, half hidden in shadow, a woman in a tattered dress, her hair hanging in wet strands over her face, her head tilted like she was listening to something I couldn't hear. Then she moved, not walking, just gliding, her feet not touching the ground. Her eyes locked on mine, empty but burning, and her mouth opened,